Welcome to English 101X and the Weber. Today we're going to be covering a lot of basics regarding your two paragraphs that most of you turned in by Monday, this past Monday. And we're going to talk about some other important issues regarding the class and regarding writing in general. Like I was just mentioning, I think writing is the #1 skill that we need to acquire. Mathematicians will say it's math, but you don't use math well, I guess we do use it a little bit in everyday thinking, but not as much as writing. Not as much as writing. Writing affects you for the rest of your life. You'll be writing resumes and cover letters and doing summaries of reports that your bosses are going to ask you to do. Every industry is changing and evolving, so you're going to have to keep up with the reading on it. And also presentations, being able to orally present something that you've written and thought out using your critical thinking skills. So earlier I was telling the students that writing has been, for me, the one skill that has constantly propelled me no matter where I've worked. And once they find out, wherever you work, that you can write, they'll recognize it, and then they'll be bringing you things to write or to review. It's kind of cool when your boss says, "Hey, can you take a look at this for me?" Because not everybody, even people in positions, are good writers, and they rely on other people to write for them and to create summaries and so on in the workplace. Does anybody have any comments on that? Anybody have any experiences like that? Because some of you, most of you, are good writers. Okay. Well, the things that I wanted to share today before we get into the course is that #1, it's really important that you protect your GPA. Very important. You might as well, if you possibly can, you might as well get A's. That's what I tell everybody. It's not like you can't, you can. You can get A's. And if you're a B student, it probably takes just a little bit more effort for you to go from the B to the A. And it looks really good on your resume. And then also you'll be very proud of yourself because you'll say, "Hey, I'm an A student. I could do it." And you can do it. It just takes effort. I use my own self as an example. When I did my master's in Puerto Rico, I didn't speak Spanish very well at all. And so I knew that the course, most of the classes were in English, but there was a handful in Spanish that really challenged me. I got A's in all of them. I had to work twice as hard as anybody else. I definitely did, but I was able to do it. And I think that if you put in the effort, you will get the reward, you'll get the result. So when you're in college, you want to protect your GPA. You want to establish yourself as a professional student. This is like a full-time job as much as you possibly can. And you have to look at it and elevate it. You're not just taking classes, you're not just accumulating units. You're actually a professional student. So you want to approach everything that you do at a professional level. Every paper you turn in, you want to make sure that you go through it, that you check for spelling, for punctuation, as if this is your job. And it is your job. I know you probably have jobs, but you are a professional student. And you have to make being a student and these classes a priority. I don't know what other classes you're taking and your major or whatever other units you're accumulating to get your AA or AS degree. But being a professional student is a priority. We are going to meet one-on-one. This is kind of out of order here. So I'm going to send out a program to ask you when you're available so we can meet for at least 10, 15 minutes, make sure that we're on track. And that way I get to know you a little bit better. And then the other thing is I wanted to mention is that time is your #1 asset. And that, again, points back to the importance of the subject matter, the content that we are studying and that we are writing about. And it's, to me, it's kind of like an invisible virus that affects everybody, even old people. Last time I was in Puerto Rico, I went to my favorite pizza place, and an old couple came in, sat down next to me or near me. I didn't think anything of it until the old guy pulled out an iPad. So there he is on his iPad, and his wife is just sitting there bored to death. Then they bring their pizza, they eat the pizza, a little bit of conversation. Then they take away the pizza and he pulls it out again. And so this is like an equal opportunity issue. Old, young, it doesn't matter anymore. You see it everywhere. And it's almost, it's like a virus. It's like an addiction. It is an addiction. And we have to find a way to control it. Why? Because it just sucks up time. If you're on your phone, and I'll be conservative, maybe 5 hours a day, maybe 3 are productive and 2 are not. So that's 14 hours and probably more on the weekend, 14 hours in 1 week, 28 hours every 2 weeks. What's that? 8, 8 is 16. What's that? 56 hours a week wasted. What could you do each week if you had an extra 56 hours? And that's just being on the phone 2 hours a day. So time, it's just really sucking up time. All right, I'm going to get off the podium here, talk a little bit about the class. And I'm going to go to our, any questions? Anybody have any experiences they would like to share?
Just like you had talked about, do you really think some jobs look at transcripts as much as they used to? You know, your college transcripts?
Yeah, I think they look at everything. They're curious, you know, they want to hire the very best person available.
Yeah. Because some
And
people are going to get a B here and there.
yeah, a B here and there is no, I mean, if you have a 3.6 or a 3.8, you know, it's not like they're going to say, oh, she got a B in chemistry, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. And really, I got to share something with you that's very powerful, is that they're looking for somebody that they can go to lunch with and feel comfortable.
Yeah.
They're looking for someone that they can invite to the park on the weekend because their son or their daughter is playing soccer. That's who they're looking for. They want someone just, go ahead.
And they know how to speak properly and deal with problem solving at work and not a nuisance to everybody. Because you all know, when we all work for a bigger company, there's always one that just ruins your day every day.
Yes. And you said something very key. They're looking for problem solvers. If you're like, say, you know, if you're finding problems in the company, the first thing they're going to say is, okay, Joy, what, do you have a solution? Because we can find problems all day long, but we need problem solvers. And so any other comments from anybody? Muy bueno. All right, we're going to move on here. I'm going to go to I'm going to share my screen. There it is. You know, it's funny, you know, I prepare this stuff and then you go to get it and it's not there. You bad Zoom. All right, here we go. We'll go over here to our lovely course. All right, 21st through the 27th, argument, read and review. Here we have organizing your argument. It's a really cool mini, and I look for lots of mini stuff, presentation on organizing your argumentative essay. I do a lot of repeating of things. I really believe in repetition is the mother of learning. You want to take this information and get it to stick to your long-term memory as opposed to short-term. And so this is a very good PowerPoint from OWL on the argumentative essay. We know we have to establish a claim and then prove it with logical reasoning, examples, and research. That's so important. Why is organization important in an argument? You guide your audience through your reasoning process. You offer a clear explanation of each argued point, and it demonstrates the credibility of the writer. The organization, we know the title, the introduction. The introduction has the thesis statement, the body paragraphs, all of them, like I wrote on the board last week, have a topic sentence. They build main points. You counter with the opposition, but we do that in one counter argument paragraph, and then you write your conclusion. And so then it breaks down everything, introducing the topic of discussion to the audience, and you want to generate interest in the argument. Somebody started off with a great quote. I don't remember which one of you, but I know one of you that are in this class today started off with a great quote, a great question. It was really good. I think it was taken from the Social Dilemma. But I'm not going to go through the whole thing here with you, but considering titles, then somebody also had a very, very thought-provoking title to their essay. And this is really good. You have to take the time to read it through. And I'm providing you with as much ammunition to write a great essay. I want this to be the best that you've ever written. Why? Because you're tackling a worldwide epidemic, but it's invisible. Nobody sees it, but everybody's attached to it, right? And it's kind of like you're opening up a Pandora's box, if you will. And underneath, you see all of the problems that come with the abuse of the phone, and especially how it affects young people. And that's what I'm concerned about. I really am. My son caught his daughter hiding in the closet with the iPad. Why? Because she's supposed to ask permission, and he's monitoring her screen time. She's only 7. So this is something that affects everybody. It really does. And we have to take control of it. Okay, get off that, because the iPhone has lots of really good stuff, but you have to control it, right? It's all about balance. Okay, so then pre-writing strategies. How to brainstorm. And I have a PowerPoint here on how to brainstorm. And there's different ways of brainstorming. And this is really good because it gives you pre-writing strategies. And pre-writing is the thinking and planning the writer does before drafting and throughout the writing process, including considering the topic, the audience, and the purpose, gathering information, choosing a form, and making a plan for organizing and elaborating your ideas. Reasons for pre-writing. Students who use pre-writing strategies are more effective writers because they are able to more successfully choose and narrow a topic. Pre-writing also helps writers develop the topic and plan how to write about it. And then here are 5 useful strategies. There's brainstorming, whereby you just think about the topic and you start to write things down like a list, like a laundry list. There's clustering. Does anybody here know how to cluster? Okay, I'll take that as a no. There's free writing. Free writing, which usually when we're in the classroom, and we have a lot more time, is I'll show a short video, 2 or 3 minutes. Then I'll have the students take out a sheet of paper and write for 5 to 10 minutes nonstop. And usually whatever I show is provocative. It makes you think. They call that free writing, when you just let your mind go, irregardless of punctuation, of spelling. You just want to get your ideas on paper as fast as you possibly can. Then there's outlining, which everyone I'm sure knows how to outline. And then there's asking the 6 journalist questions: who, what, where, why, when, and how. And so what I'll do is I'll share, before we get back there, I'll share clustering. So no one has ever heard of this term, clustering? Maybe when you see it, you'll recognize it. And I'm not going to use this example. Well, I guess maybe we can. Oh, we can go with addiction. Okay. What do we mean by addiction? What words does it bring to mind? Anybody?
Overuse.
Overuse. Okay.
Compulsive behavior.
Compulsive behavior. I like that. What could we be addicted to?
Cell phones.
Everything.
Okay, sure. We'll go with cell phones.
Alcohol, drugs,
There you go.
food.
I'll connect that to this, right? Somebody said something else?
Did you put food?
Food, okay. Yeah, that's a compulsive thing too. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a problem, right? It affects everyone, like somebody said. Is it good or is it bad?
Bad.
It's bad, right? It's detrimental.
Hmm.
Right? And how is it detrimental? It affects families, it affects your work, so on and so forth. So they call this clustering, where you put an idea in the middle, right? And you start thinking of ideas that kind of go off it. You know, like if you were to say, let's do another quick one. I like clustering myself. I mean, I use them all. Lion, what do you think?
Dangerous.
Dangerous. They're carnivorous.
Mm-hmm. They're from Africa or from, yeah, no?
What color are they?
Oh, like orange, yellow.
Okay. And what do they call that? It's a mane, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm,
Have there been movies made about them?
The Lion King.
Okay.
Big Puppet Lion King.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Are they big, small, little? What are they?
Big.
Yeah, they're big. They're huge. So they're big, but big means, and they're also dangerous, carnivorous, because they're man-eating, right? They will definitely eat a man, right? So you get the,
zoo?
what's that?
Zoo?
Yes. The lions are, some of them are in a zoo, and the zoo actually should be over here. Those are a couple of places where you find lions.
Yeah.
So this is called clustering. You put an idea in the middle, you think of ideas that come to mind, and then you kind of tie them all together. Some things like, okay, they're carnivorous, but they're big, right? They're dangerous. So these 3 things kind of go together. So you can start to make an outline of something that you're working on. All right, so they call that clustering. We're going to go back here. So we have a great PowerPoint on how to brainstorm, and there's different ideas on how to brainstorm. So you see that writing, there's a method to the madness. There's an organization to it. And you do a great disservice to yourself if you just take out a sheet of paper, a blank sheet of paper, and stare at it and try to write. You have to organize your thoughts. What are you going to write about? What 3 things in your thesis are you going to write about? What are the things that through your research have affected you? The thesis statement. There were some students that wrote their opening introductory paragraph without a thesis statement. They mentioned things close to it, but they didn't really talk about it. And they had a good attitude about what they wanted to write about, but they never really told the reader what they were going to write about. The thesis statement is the most important sentence in your essay. And so usually the thesis statement will have 3 points. They call that the plan of development. And so we know that a thesis statement is a sentence that practically summarizes the entire paper. And that using 3 points in your thesis statement really focuses the direction for the reader. You're going to say, well, this writer is making this claim, and these are the 3 points that they're going to talk about and elaborate on. And so I took something simple, like Thomas Edison's genius was the perfect combination of innovative thinking, hard work, and a positive attitude. So those are the 3 points that he's going to talk about, that he's going to cover in his body paragraphs. Thomas Edison was influential because he created the light bulb, the phonograph, and the telegraph transmitter. So again, they're making a claim that he was influential. Why? Because he created these 3 things. So you want to outline your ideas, pre-write your ideas by using pre-writing. We just went over all that. List, free writing, clustering, or brainstorming to come up with good points to use in your essay. Select the 3 points that best support your narrative, explanatory, or argumentative essay. We are doing an argumentative essay. Create an introduction for your essay. Explain your topic in the first sentence, your hook sentence, and then create your thesis statement. Your thesis will describe how you are going to prove your hook. Write 3 points that you will prove or argue in your essay. Well, if you say something along the lines of, and I don't like using these because then everybody writes on them. There's so many other, implications from phone overuse, but I'm just going to go with the three most recognizable ones: is anxiety, depression, sleep deprivation, for example. So topic sentence, use topic sentences in each body paragraph. So the thesis statement is going to mention your 3 points, and then each point is going to be covered one by one in a body paragraph. It's going to be mentioned in the topic sentence, and then the rest of the paragraph is going to be supporting details. And then you conclude your thesis by leading into your essay. Your essay will begin with the first point of your thesis statement in the topic sentence of your first body paragraph. So it's like you're going to have like this thread running through your entire essay. Now, down here, I added watch elements for argumentative essay. This talks about philosophy. This talks about the ethos, pathos, and logos, which you have to consider when you're writing your essay, which was also in the book. Here's a thesis statement roadmap. which is another mini presentation of what your thesis should be. And here it is again, a short statement, usually one sentence that summarizes the main point or claim of an essay and is developed, supported, and explained in the text by means of examples and evidence. Your thesis statement should be argumentative. You're making a point. It's sometimes if you get mad at someone, you know they're wrong, you are real exuberant, and almost forceful in making your point. Here's the introduction. Your thesis usually is right around the end of your introduction. The thesis statements often evolve, which means that if you are doing research, the research makes you think of empowering your thesis statement, then you can go back and you can change it. The thing about writing is that it is always constantly evolving. You can probably go back and take a look at a paper that you've done in the past that you thought was really, really good, and you take a look at it and you'll probably find ways to make it better. All right. So what I'm having you do is two things, actually three things. This week, I'm not having you do any reading. I want you to concentrate on fine-tuning these first two paragraphs. Some of you may completely rewrite them. The whole purpose of doing it this way is to get you on track so that you create a very strong foundation. Introductory in your first body paragraph, then I can feel confident that you're going to go on and complete the rest of your paper. Like I said, hopefully this really becomes like your best paper that you've ever written. And maybe you've probably already written. All right, so here, for your own edification, smartphone survey below and share your comments with at least three students. So if you open up it says, it's a little kind of funny, but you take, are you a smartphone junkie? And you can, on a separate sheet of paper, you can download this if you want. You just keep score. Are you a smartphone junkie? Rate each item on a scale of 1, completely disagree, to 7, strongly agree, and tally up your total score to find out. Be honest. I would feel uncomfortable without constant access to information through my smartphone. I would be annoyed if I could not look information up on my smartphone when I wanted to. Anyway, this is the smartphone junkie little test. Then you kind of like rate yourself, and then we're going to talk about it. You're going to share your findings with students, right? And it's it's a typical discussion type where you could just reply down here and have some fun with it, but also maybe discover new things about your own addiction, and then you share it with other students. The other thing is that I have here is that share your thesis statement, get feedback and support from your fellow students with positive and instructive feedback. Here, you're going to write your thesis statement. You're saying, wow, this thesis statement is important. It is important. And so you want to get as much feedback as you possibly can. Whenever you write anything, go to the writing center and ask someone to take a look at it, or ask someone to take a look at it in your family, friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whoever. You always need a second pair of eyes to catch lots of little things and maybe to help you focus on your direction. Here again, you share your thesis statement, and then you comment on other thesis statements, or maybe you'll learn something from other students' thesis statements. Writing, writing, writing. That's what this week is all about. 2 paragraphs, that's what we're concentrating on. And here, you're going to revise your 2 paragraphs, but this time you're going to upload it. You're going to upload it. This way you definitely want to be careful about plagiarism, copying and pasting other people's work without giving them any recognition. We have an app in place here that will tell us where your stuff is from, and it's kind of like to keep us in check. So this is worth 100 points. You're going to write your 2 paragraphs, and you're going to upload them. You're going to upload them here. And it's pretty easy to do once you start writing. Okay.
If you like what you've done, can you keep a lot of it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This is you're going to see, if you really get into it, you're going to be revising until the very end, because you're going to want to make it perfect. You're going to fall in love with your own work, and that's the purpose. You know, and like I said, you're 10 times smarter than you think you are, and you can get done 20 times more than you think you can. And I hope this is an exercise in that, where you just want this to be the best. So you will go back and you'll revise, and you'll take out clutter. You'll take out sentences that they really don't mean much. And really, you want your essay to matter. You want it to have a point. There's the question that we ask as teachers and readers is, okay, so what? You're saying this, so what? Writing is something that, let's see, I'm going to get out of here. Okay, so those are the things that are due this week. Okay. And then I have all this other stuff down here to support you. And then here is that complete model argumentative essay. And I'm probably going to put up another really good one. I'm going to constantly show you, so that you can cull from these things. You can pull from these things, you know, good ideas. Okay, any questions on this? As you can see, it's a very short module this week. It's all about supporting those first 2 paragraphs, making sure that we have a strong foundation. And it's important that you understand that no matter what you say on paper, you have to support it with details. You can't just say that the overuse of the cell phone is really affecting teens, or everybody's on their phone. What does that mean? Everybody's on their phone. According to this survey, 56% of blah, blah, blah. You can't just in writing arbitrarily write ideas coming out of your head down and expect the reader to accept it as gospel. Why? Because we aren't experts in the field. We have no say. We can observe, we can have an opinion, but this is not an opinion paper. This is an argumentative essay. You have to assert, make claims, and then support them. You are arguing a case. You're a lawyer in a court of law arguing that the cell phone is affecting teens, especially their mental issues, and the reasons for your findings are, and then you start to mention, use your supporting material. According to this study, according to this article in Psychology Today, according to the Wall Street Journal, according to the New York Times, whatever it is. And believe me, whatever you read, you will find good articles on it. This is nothing new, and it's been written about, but as you well know, it's not at the forefront of the news. We're talking about everything else but a problem that is poisonous and exists, especially for young people. Like I said, it hurts, it pains me when I see parents giving the cell phone or an iPad to their children, to occupy their time so that they can do what they want to do. And screen time is an important issue. It's an important issue. So anyway, there it is. Any questions about anything at all? Cricket. Okay, Well, that's all the time I have for today. I will be contacting everybody to set up, oh, I already erased it, a one-on-one meeting, 10 or 15 minutes max, so we could talk about your progress and anything that I can help you with. And good luck with writing these two. And I may be a little terse about my comments, but I want to rein you in and get you to focus on the basics, the foundation of writing a good argumentative essay. And this will help you out in so many other things, you know. You're going to realize, even when you're talking to people and you have an opinion, that it's just that, and it's not based on facts. It's not based on research. And it's going to open up your mind to listening to other people when they start spewing opinions and their ideas, you know. You say, well, where did you get your information? Remember, some information is biased. You've got Fox News on the right, and you've got CNN in the middle and on the left. Okay, they'll present a story, and there'll be a wide gap as to even the facts of the story. So we have to watch, right? We have to listen. We have to be careful about what we hear and see, because the media is so powerful and they want our attention for sure. Okay, you guys have a great rest of the week, and I'll be contacting you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good class. Bye.